With the Toronto Raptors heading into the first year of their rebuild, how many games can we really expect them to win? One Bleacher Report member had this to say about the team, and Raptors fans were not impressed. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody. This is Amateur Sports 2, the second channel in the Amateur Production Network, where I give you additional Toronto Raptors content in videos just like this. But make sure you check out my main channel, Amateur Sports, with no numbers, for even more Raptors content with nearly 18,000 subs over there. Drop a like if you enjoyed this one along the way. So let's get into things here. I found an article on the Raptors Rapture website which discussed this Bleacher Report article in question, and the author here, Josh Corneliuson, did not like the way the Bleacher Report staff member had portrayed the Raptors in the article, predicting how many wins the Raptors would get over the course of the season. In fact, this Bleacher Report article, written by Andy Bailey, actually predicts all NBA teams and what they think the win record will be for the team. And honestly, for the Raptors, it does get a little bit ugly. That's what we're going to be discussing over the course of the video here. You have to think about the Raptors, certainly going into the season, it's more than just the players that they have. It's more than just the talent on the team. When you think about the Raptors, obviously, like, there's talent here. Barnes was an all-star last year. RJ Barrett's on the ascent. Quickly is on the ascent. They've got a rim protector in Jakob Poeltl. Grady Dick hopefully continuing to develop. Decent bench to work with, maybe better than some other years that they've had recently. However, you have to understand that even though it's a good team that might challenge for a play-in tournament position, the motivation for the Raptors typically has not been to chase that play-in tournament berth. There's been 3 instances where they've been on the bubble of the play-in tournament. Twice they've full-blown tanked. Once they went for it, lost in the first round of the play-in tournament, and maybe regretted that loss to the Bulls. So for the Raptors, even when they didn't even have control of their own draft pick last year, they still tanked. So if the Raptors are on pace for 35, 36, 37, 38 wins in the mix for a play-in tournament berth, they may choose to go in the opposite direction and tank. And perhaps that is what's on the mind of the odds makers who have set the Raptors win total for the season right around 30. Just one example here, right around 30, 30 and a half. I've seen it at 29 and a half as well. It's pretty juiced to the under. So in between 29 and 31 wins is the expectation from the sports books and the odds makers. But as far as this Bleacher Report article is concerned, 26 wins is where they have pegged the Raptors, 26 and 56 on the season, which is a little bit strange considering the entire piece on the Raptors is rather positive. It talks about how good the Raptors were last season when Barnes, Barrett, and Quickly were on the floor together. It's talking about Quickly developing. It's talking about Barrett developing. And it's saying that it's going to be tough for the Raptors to get back into the mix. However, there is still a lot to like with this team. They're missing some shooting. They have to rely a lot on Grady Dick, and there's no guarantee there. But there's a lot of positive spun here for a team that's expected to have 26 wins. Same with the Utah Jazz, who I expect to be very bad this season. So that's where the frustration comes from this Raptors Rapture article. I'm not trying to slander this article in any way whatsoever. It's very clear to me the Raptors are good enough to win a lot more than 26 games. But in consideration of the tank, they may lose more than you would suggest on paper. That being said, 26 is ridiculous. I mean, I have to agree. 26 is pretty ridiculous for this. Also considering like the positivity within the article here, 26 is just too low. I don't really have a strong opinion on which way I would bet this. I am considering going with the over because I just think there's enough talent in this team for this team to win 35 games. Comfortably win 31 plus games. It's just if that tank does come into play. But 26 is just so little. 26 is just definitely not enough for the amount of talent on this team. So I think what's gone on here, and granted, look, this is a tough article to write. You're going through every team in the NBA, and also you got to do the math. You know, there's only a certain amount of wins out there. But like the Pistons on 23, 3 less. It's just not really like 30, like the Bulls on 30. Like it's just not. I mean, the Hornets, Jesus, it's not enough here for the Raptors. Again, a lot of work goes into an article like this. A lot of math has to go in to ensure that you're doing the correct amount of wins. There's not an imbalance there. So I think likely what's gone down here is that for the sake of this article, perhaps, oh, Jesus, they had the Hornets above the Raptors. Okay, no. That's just that's just insane. I mean, that's just insane. They had the Hornets above the Raptors. They had the Bulls 4 wins above them. I think what's gone on here, it's not foreign for a Bleacher Report writer to maybe be less in tune with the Toronto Raptors, as would be the same for many media sources. So probably at a certain point, the Raptors were a bit of an afterthought. There was only a certain amount of wins to go around. Therefore, it was just easy for the sake of the article to put down 26 wins for the Raptors rather than trying to restructure everything else and giving them an extra 2 or 3 wins. But definitely for me, 26 is low. I understand the win total for the season is right around 30, and there's only 4 less. But I think it's pretty obvious that this Raptors team is better than that. I also think it's crystal clear that this team is better than the Charlotte Hornets, and it's probably a good shout to be better than the Chicago Bulls this season. So, as far as the frustration brewing from it, 26 is pretty low. It's not like egregious from my end. Not slandering the Raptors Rapture article in any way whatsoever. Just putting that out there again. Not talking shit about that at all. But from my perspective, I can see how somebody could come to a conclusion like this based on the fact that you're doing a whole article, and that's difficult to do, based on the Raptors possibly tanking. But with the way they describe the team as well, it's just not enough. Honestly, it really is just not enough here at 26. So for me, what's my prediction? I think the Raptors will just be a little bit too good to full-blown tank. Now, injuries obviously could change that. You never know. But for me, I'd probably go with about 32 wins on this season. If the Raptors genuinely want to just win out the whole season, which I don't think they do. But if they did, I think this team is good enough to win 37, 38. Realistically, I think they could comfortably win 35. But I just don't think they are going to want to win that many games. It's just on the cusp of being in the play-in tournament. It's a good draft with the big prize of Cooper Flagg being there. I think a lot of teams will regret looking back not going full out on a tank for Victor Wembanyama. Cooper Flagg is not Victor Wembanyama, but I think teams will look at that draft and say, man, we really should have put a little bit more effort into tanking there because that is a prize worth tanking for. So, article bad? I don't know. I didn't read the full article, to be honest. Having the Hornets above the Raptors is pretty crazy, but I understand the frustration. I understand why somebody have the Raptors so low, but 26 is just too low. So how many wins do you think the Raptors will get this season? Give me your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. That's all for me for today on Amateur Sports 2. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more Raptors content like this. But for the videos that have actual editing in them, check out my main channel, Amateur Sports. Much higher quality videos, in my opinion. Check out that with nearly 18,000 subs. This is the Stream Clips channel, the best stream clips and highlights from this channel here. Here's another video you may enjoy, and I'll see you again next time for another video right here on Amateur Sports 2.